another episode of Morning Edition. Julian Sador, Andy Satowski, Jason Harper, meteorologist Andrew Brightman in today, hanging out.
Right,
I'm just going to say, taking my gap year from Pinpoint Weather University to be with you guys.
Oh,
What?
wow.
Okay.
We are not worthy.
We're honored.
Well, you know
We're
what,
honored,
Andrew, that kind of gives me a segue because gap year, take time off from school. It seems like the Charlotte City Council is taking some time off from the I-77 expansion project here. They voted last night to withdraw their support for it. Guys, I feel like this is the ongoing story. Does not seem like there's a resolution.
No.
Doesn't seem like there's a good resolution to it. And it seems like it's just getting murkier and murkier.
It really does. And we had Shannon Binns from Sustain Charlotte come in here and have a really good, lengthy conversation about alternatives and discussing it's not just an opposition to, we don't want this, right? There's a lot of good reasoning behind it, right? So we're talking about our history and dividing historically Black neighborhoods and pushing people out, creating spaces, literally dividing communities. And that's something I didn't know that Shannon brought up, is that kids remember playing with their best friend next door, and then all of a sudden they were separated by all of this highway. So I love the idea of putting it to the community, saying, what do you want? But then saying, okay, sure, kids, you want a slide that goes to the blueberry fields, but what can we actually do? And I think some of the designs that I'm seeing more and more of, and even a lot of people who are doing developments in Charlotte, who actually are in the business, saying this is something we could really do by putting those lanes underground, creating green spaces on top. So think more tunnels than layering these lanes on top like it's been proposed.
Right.
I don't know. So I feel like we're just going to be talking about this for a long time, but I think it's better. I'm happy to see people thinking about it and actually saying, pause. We don't know what's going on. The problem is that we could potentially lose out on state funding.
That's the part.
About $3 million worth, right?
I feel like we're under $3 billion.
With a B.
Yeah, with a B. Yeah, and so I feel like we're under pressure here. Not that we're being threatened by the NCDOT, but there are developers out there. I mean, let's call it what it is. They kind of are a little bit threatening, going, hey, if we don't make this decision and to make it soon, we're going to use it in Raleigh. We're going to use it somewhere else, because there's a lot of places
That's
in
how you
North
run
Carolina.
the business. And
I mean,
there's a lot of projects going on all over the state. And so, okay, you don't want it, we'll give it to someone else.
Yeah. And you're right. And so, I don't know the exact, I still have a lot of questions. And this has not been like my story where where I dove deep to try to find out all the answers. But I don't know, what is the timeline from the NCDOT before they pull their funding. I'd like to know what that is, because there are some really great submissions that are coming in. Like Annie, you mentioned we had Shannon Binns in here with Sustain Charlotte. They're looking at other cities like Austin and even Dallas, where they've made a really cool green space park over one of the interstates. And so there are cities that are making it work. It's always hard when you can't conceive an idea or a concept and you just see it on drawings or renderings. It's hard to put your head around it and go, well, what would that actually look like in Charlotte? But with AI, with technology, with 3D, 4D mapping and all that, you can really give a realistic look. But that's just part one. Part two is go look at another city that's actually made it work. And then, so I would love for us to take some more time to look at this and make some of these options.
Yeah, I've got a couple things. First off, I live in the area. I live in West Charlotte, and just walking around kind of in the Wesley Heights area near Fraser Park there, I've just been seeing lots of flyers. A lot of the community was not, I'll just put it this way, not super excited about potentially what was going to be going on. And then you were talking about, Jason, examples of big expansions, trying to make the infrastructure more efficient for everyone. Boston actually is a really interesting example here. They had this big project called the Big Dig. It was one of the largest projects ever done here. It took over 20 years, but they basically moved the entire infrastructure of the highways around downtown Boston underground. Because if you look at sort of again, if you've been to the Boston area, it's an amazing city, but like the Haymarket area where Faneuil Hall is, there used to be highway running right by it. It was kind of crazy. They moved all of that underground. They turned that into a green space. It's actually, there were a lot of complaints in the city because of, I think it took over 20 years. It, with a lot of these public works projects ran incredibly over budget, but when they actually finally got it done, it made everything so much more efficient, actually made the city more beautiful at the same time.
Wow.
It's one of those things where it cost too much, took too long, but also still turned out really good.
Yeah. it turned out fine.
Yeah.
I don't know that any government project doesn't feel like it takes too long to get
Of
done, right?
course.
Like does anybody
It was
feel
like
though?
30 years.
Like I know we didn't rush the process, right? Because they
No.
had public hearings
Mhm.
on this. But it seems to me, why didn't they address this sooner? The sentiment out there has always been, we don't want this to happen. We don't want to divide the historically black neighborhoods like what happened when they built 277 and 77 in the first place. So why now is the council pulling back? It's not like they learned something new.
I'm speculating here. I think they wanted to fast track it originally
Mhm.
because there are partnerships between big developers,
Mm-hmm.
concrete companies, steel manufacturers. I don't know what the money swapping kickback. I don't know what those agreements look like.
Mhm.
But if you just do toll lanes and they're elevated, just get it done quickly. There's a lot of agreements and money going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe they were hoping that they knew there was going to be pushback. I don't think they thought it would get to this level.
Yeah.
Or
And
be
so
that
now it's
loud.
like, whoa. We know we need expansion. We know we need to help because the city's growing so fast.
Sure.
And we need to be forward thinking. We need to look, 20, 30, 50 years from now, like Boston did,
Yeah.
Andrew. But they knew there's no one's ever going to be happy with whatever you present. But now I think they're like, oh, shoot. I mean, some of these people in their city council or, county council
Right.
positions could lose their next go round if they vote for something that
Okay.
now the whole city's in uproar about.
But here, I guess this is my gripe is when you presented or when you asked for ideas, why didn't you ask for something that was an alternative besides the above ground toll lanes?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? Like, I mean, look, when you're asking your wife or Andy, your husband, where you want to go to eat, you give more than one option, right? It's slightly different. You don't
Very
throw
important.
out 3 Chinese places.
important.
You throw out, okay, maybe we'll go Chinese, Mexican, or Italian, right? You don't go. So why didn't we
Don't have
look?
too many choices, but
You don't want too many
You
choices, right?
can't have too many choices.
But why didn't we consider it before? And now we're in a place where, yeah, if we lose the funding, then we're definitely in a bad position because we
Yeah.
know that we're overcrowded. We know that there needs to be a different option to try to alleviate the congestion on 77. It just seems like we're almost borderline the worst case scenario where now we're back to square one.
Mhm.
We're on a timeline now where we could lose funding and we don't have a concrete plan.
I wonder.
Uh-huh,
No pun
concrete.
intended. Get up.
I see. See
But
what
I
you did.
wonder, if that funding won't come around again, right? Like if if it's contingent on it has to be now or never, because that doesn't seem normal, right? Or fair.
Government and fair.
Listen,
Yeah,
we know how hard it is for them to pass a budget. I mean, we're the
Yeah.
only state in the country that
Without
doesn't have a state budget. So
yeah.
$3 billion.
Right.
I mean, $3 million and $3 billion. Those are two very different
Yeah.
Yeah.
pots of money. I can't imagine that large a one coming around again in another 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But-
It is hard to everyone's point. The city is growing, and I think a big complaint in Charlotte is that we didn't think far enough in advance. What's always the
Right.
complaint
Yeah.
is like you build the schools, you build the housing, but the infrastructure around it is terrible, right? We didn't
Mhm.
expand the roads. This is a single lane road, and everyone's trying to travel on it. So I think it's important to be thoughtful. What do we want to look like as a city? What's going to keep attracting people so it's
Mhm.
not just like
Mhm.
Charlotte's not the butt of jokes of how bad the traffic is and how bad the infrastructure is. I've only been here for literally 5 years, and that is the joke, right? It's just how bad the infrastructure is. So I encourage being thoughtful. But again, if there's a clock ticking, I wouldn't want to be in anyone's shoes to have to make this decision. Let's just put it that
No.
way. That's not
But
that's not my
I
thing.
guess I can applaud the fact, let's not make the wrong decision. So if it means pulling
Yes.
the support for it for now to get the
Mhm.
right decision,
Mhm.
Agreed.
okay, right? Better to correct the course now than let it be another terrible decision like 77 and 277 were the way they're implemented.
yeah, I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
the traffic is bad when we say in a relative sense. Growing up in Philadelphia, they're like it's actually been kind of nice coming down here to the south. But we can
But
always
that's like same in the DC area. It's because they didn't plan far enough ahead.
that's
Right.
true.
Right. So now let's avoid the mistakes that bigger cities like Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., New York City, all these ones have made. And let's plan ahead and actually get something that works.
No, and underground is like in trend. Yeah, it gets, and again, going back to Boston where I went to school.
Yeah.
The work began in 1982. The main construction was 1991 to 2007.
Wow.
And then it was open. Original price adjusted for inflation was thought to be 7.4 billion. It actually cost 14.6. So,
Inflation
Double.
happens.
but the
So,
whole time
yeah.
you talk about a big infrastructure project, I just see the analysis
Right.
of what they're trying to do here. that's just kind of what you're dealing with in terms of you want to try to make everything efficient, but also sort of try to retain the character of the neighborhoods that basically you're trying to do this construction around.
I am not a civil engineer, but
Yeah.
I really would like to kind of be a fly on the wall, to be in some of these meetings,
Yeah.
because just like if you were to build your own computer, you always leave like extra space for growth.
Right.
You leave room, an extra slot for another hard drive or more memory or whatever. I feel like, because my wife has lived here more than 20 something years, and she remembers when the 485 loop around the city was finally built. They've been begging for it for 20 years.
Yeah.
And they built it too small. Like, they didn't build it thinking 10 years, 20 years later,
You gotta
we're going to
think-
need another lane.
It's like when you get pants, Jason, you got to think maybe you grow a little bit over time.
You got to wear expander pants,
Yeah.
and you got to have expander lanes. Like, you can't make for where things are. You have to make for what's coming.
Same
So I
thing with
would love-
277.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. I would
It's
love
the
to be in these
tiniest beltway
meetings
I've ever
going,
seen.
how are you building it, not only for now, but how are you building it for our grandkids? Because that's who you should be building it for.
There it is. All right. Well, looking into
Just
the
ask
future,
us.
just talk
We-
to us.
we
Come and
have
talk to
all
Morning
the
Edition.
answers. We
got it.
All of them. All right. Well, coming up on Morning Edition, we're not done talking about more things here. Dropping out of a plane, we've heard about the Hantavirus, but how are they treating it? Some of the passengers actually needing to have airdrops to get supplies, and also a micro escape. You may want to take a micro escape after talking about the I-77 expansion
Yes,
plan.
please.
Oh,
We're telling
man,
you
yeah.
what a micro escape is. All that and more coming up on Morning Edition. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone, into Morning Edition. We're having a good time talking about all things that we don't have enough time to talk about on the show, things that really interest us. And I think the world is a little freaked out by the Hantavirus, right? We started talking about this almost 2 weeks ago now, right? This outbreak, and we use that word loosely because I think people think there's a new COVID that is spreading around the world with the Hantavirus on this one cruise ship that was just off the Canary Islands over near Europe, right? So we want to show you this video because the links that they have now gone to not only evacuate some of the passengers from this ship, but to get medicine to some of these passengers that are on these secluded small islands. So look at this. Okay, we're giving you point of view video here. A team of 6 paratroopers and 2 military clinicians parachuted onto this remote British island. It's a territory. They're airdropping medical supplies. And this is the British nation Tristan da Cunha. I don't even know where that is on the map, you guys. But
No,
apparently,
I know where it is.
Do you
Of course
really?
you do.
Yes.
The meteorologist knows.
It's in the middle of the South Atlantic Ocean here. It's like kind of not, it's a few hundred miles south of, several hundred miles south of where St. Helena was, where they infamously left Napoleon way back in the day. But it is extreme.
Come on now.
This
A
is
geography
truly
and a history lesson all in one. What kind of cloud is that, Andrew?
that's a great, I need a better
and
view.
look like the rain, like on his mask, on his
It's a
helmet.
lot of pressure, Annie.
Okay.
But no, this is in the truly the middle of the Atlantic, the South Atlantic Ocean. Like when we talk about South America on one side, Africa on the other, they're basically about 1,800 miles right in the middle.
Holy
This is
cow.
incredible video.
It's
Can
just-
you imagine?
It's extraordinarily isolated.
They said that the let's see here, oxygen supplies on the island were at a critical level. The airdrop was the only method of getting vital care to the patients in time. So I mean, as you watch this, like this is insane. He jumps out of the back of the plane. Now he's going through clouds, going through rain. You look at this island, going, I think I want to land near one of those homes in that grassy field.
not
But I
on
got
the top of
mountains
the
to the
mountain.
right, ocean to the left, and you're at the mercy of. I mean, obviously some of the controls you have. Right there, but really, Mother Nature and wind. This is insane.
That's someone's job.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like someone
they're
literally gets to
they're military
Yes,
paratroopers.
yes, they are. I know that's not their only job, Julian. Like to jump out of airplanes. This is a very cool mission. But we wanted to talk about Hantavirus.
Yes.
This video popped up. So that's a cool angle for it. But I've had a lot of people like say, "Oh my God, Hantavirus."
Same.
And
Yep.
and I don't know why they look at me like they think I know
the
everything.
news
But
lady.
no,
You're
I'm
the news lady.
right? So I've had to like tell a bunch of people this is not new COVID. We're not going into a new pandemic. Like all the memes and the funny videos are hilarious about like, all right, we're gonna be in quarantine. Better learn your TikTok dances and get your bag this time. It's such a rare disease to start off with, right? But this particular strain is also incredibly rare in that there is the possibility of it passing from person to person where normal hantavirus does not. That contact, though, is not like I sneeze in the room and
Right.
y'all are going to get it. It's more of prolonged contact. You share a bed with your partner, you share utensils, things like that. And so it all comes from rodent droppings, feces, which is the same thing, urine, and any fluids. You have to really breathe in those particles. So unless you are around a lot of rats and rodents and mice,
You're not going to get this.
You're not going to get this. Don't freak out. It's good that we're aware of it, though, because how many, if I'm thinking of hoarding situations, right, where a lot
That's a
of
good
medical
point.
teams
That
go
is a
into,
great-
that's
Yeah.
why when you have hoarding situations, they're
Mhm.
always wearing those ventilating masks
Yep.
because
Yeah,
of
you're right.
diseases like hantavirus.
That's so true.
We were talking about this last week because we've been talking about the hantavirus, and again, Annie hit the nail on the head. Not going to be a pandemic
No.
situation,
We're okay.
but the couple that originally contracted it, they were on, I guess, a bird watching excursion at a landfill.
I have questions about that.
That is the weirdest part of this whole story.
What is going on in the
What
landfill?
cruise ship takes you to a landfill
Do you want to see some great
for bird
birds?
watching?
Yeah, maybe,
like
but maybe these kinds
crows?
of birds, like
1-star in TripAdvisor.
literally, I'm right. They're writing TripAdvisor. Well,
Okay,
they
but
can't write
maybe I don't know. I don't know what I would have to see from the passenger's perspective.
Yeah.
What the view looks like. If you're looking out, maybe you don't see the landfill, but these incredible birds that are rare only to the landfill,
I don't
whatever
care
they're
about
finding
birds
and
that
munching on.
much.
I mean, maybe through
Sweetie, don't you want to go on a beautiful
hike?
hike, see a waterfall? Screw that. I want to go to the landfill, see some birds.
God,
But
golly.
the moral of the story is don't freak out about hantavirus. It's okay. Obviously, it's a very serious thing, and now we're all educated. And just because people are coming back to the U.S. does not mean that we're all going to get hantavirus.
Yo, I had someone send me a message this morning going, "Oh, great! Now I hear someone in North Carolina has it."
No.
Don't freak out. First
Right.
of all, they don't have it.
Second of all,
It was a passenger from North Carolina, but they are now in Nebraska in quarantine for a couple of weeks to
Getting
make
watched.
sure they don't have any of the side effects.
I do want to play this
don't
game.
panic.
Let's see if I can do it here.
Oh,
game.
All right, let's see here.
Wanna
If
play
we
the
can
game?
play
oh gosh.
AR Andrew,
oh,
put
see
it
if
to
you can
test.
find.
Can you find it?
Yes.
All right, where are we going?
Where?
Where are we going? Which
Zoom
way?
in on the South Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
Atlantic.
Enhance.
I know where it
Farther
is.
south. Enhance. Farther
Enhance,
south.
enhance,
Farther south.
enhance.
Enhance.
South.
Farther south. Enhance.
Uh-huh.
Is it that
Farther
little
south.
blip?
Enhance.
Uh-huh.
Enhance.
What?
Enhance.
This guy?
Yes.
That's
There it
it.
is.
Wow.
There it is. He's right. I was
Guys, I dominated trivia, okay? Dominate.
That wasn't even.
also-
Julian, that wasn't even a game.
that was not a
No, that wasn't because that was no
I know
fun.
my
Oh, it's just
geography.
Andrew showing off.
Because
I
we
should-
lost.
I should have scribbled a
Just
little.
saying enhance.
That was a terrible game.
On the morning show
Dumb.
and on Morning Edition. Now, you guys were talking about not being concerned about becoming a pandemic.
Yeah.
What are the good ways to kind of understand how a virus spreads? There's something called. You ever seen the movie Contagion? They talk about.
Oh, yeah.
They talk about the number of the R naught, like how when someone gets affected, how many people will they infect?
Mhm.
You're right.
So, like for the flu, it's like 1 to 2. For coronavirus, it was like 2 to 3.5. Some studies said it was high as 5. If it's less than 1, it basically is going to peter out because
Mhm.
it's infecting less and less people
Mhm.
over time. Hantavirus is about 0.5.
Oh,
So
that's a good
basically, if
perspective.
you think in that perspective,
half a person.
yeah, like yes, half. So if you have, let's say, 4 people with hantavirus,
Yeah.
they might infect 2, and then those 2 might
Okay.
infect 1, and see kind of how
Yeah,
it
yeah.
kind of goes down from there.
Interesting.
Brightman.
Wow,
All
Dr.
right.
Brightman.
I
Where's
like
his? He needs Professor Phaeton's blue light.
Yeah,
He
That
does.
is true. He did all that without blue light glasses.
did.
Yeah.
So there's proof, Ted,
Proof,
that you don't
Ted.
have to wear those dang things. I will say, listen,
Huh.
I try. One of our 4 daughters is love her to death, a little bit of a hypochondriac.
Well, you have 4 daughters.
Oh.
I do have 4 daughters.
No way.
Breaking news. Yep. And our second oldest, who is a college student, sorry,
Uh-huh.
so not like a teenager anymore, freaked out over the weekend when she was over for Mother's Day about this and how this is going to destroy the world, and she's scared about it and all that.
No.
And I'm just trying to say, listen, to all you people that might get a little worried or fearful when a news story comes out,
Mhm.
it's not our intention to scare anyone
No.
No.
or cause panic. It's just to inform you what's going on. But see, even backed up by what the research that Andrew just brought us just now, listen,
Scientists have.
yeah, it is not worth living every day under panic and fear of what if, what may. I'm not going to outside.
go.
I don't want to be around people
Yeah.
because I'm afraid of what
Preach.
comes. Listen, Whatever your time is, your last day on this earth is your time. So don't live
Oh.
in panic or fear.
Give them the full screen.
Guys, it's
Don't-
just
Boom.
I'm just saying. Now pass the offering
It's
plate.
very
And
simple.
don't go to landfills.
Just don't
Right.
reenact Ratatouille, guys.
There
Just
it
don't
is.
do that.
Right,
Don't
right.
do
Remy
Ratatouille.
doesn't need to be cooking. I love what Annie said to one of her friends, saying, "You don't leave the neighborhood. Like, where do you even go? Right? Like
Yeah,
a lot
I mean,
of us
like,
are.
yeah, we're all just kind of like
I
hanging
go
out. We're in
home.
Charlotte.
I-
Like, what do? I go to the grocery store. I go to my house.
I make
like-
it out once a month, maybe if that.
But see,
I'm not catching the Hantavirus.
cruise bookings are going down right now because of this. And
Okay,
there's
but
no
I
need.
stand by,
There's no
like,
need. No
Cruise
need.
ships are just petri
My wife and I are
dishes.
gonna hop on those deals. Go ahead, Camp
I do
Cruise.
concur with that.
They're
sentiment,
petri
Amy.
dishes. Keep your norovirus.
Yeah.
That one I'm actually a fan
Never,
of.
never done a cruise, and I
one.
really don't plan on it right now.
No?
Only thing I
I'm
might
gonna
do,
do it.
I've talked about
Alaska.
not Alaska.
Yeah.
I'm a psycho. I've talked about like Antarctica.
Of course you have.
Yeah. No. Nobody's.
Wow.
Better get that money out.
She
Here-
sent me
here's-
videos of the Drake Passage, and she's like, "No."
Hey, here's a quick question, meteorology guy.
Okay.
Would it be harder for some of these viruses to go airborne or to be as active if you're in colder atmospheres,
Oh.
like
Um,
Alaska
They
or
don't
the
thrive in like cold as much.
They
Right?
don't-
like
I
the
mean,
Caribbean and more
It
tropical
would
places?
kill, yeah, probably try because I like at some point, obviously, they're also sensitive to cold the same way humans are. Like, if it's cold enough, it eventually kills
Yeah.
the virus. Like
No one's sick.
like
in Antarctica.
Hantavirus isn't going to be thriving in
you
Antarctica,
go.
Antarctica at 60 degrees.
That's
below
what I'm
zero.
saying. All right, maybe it's worth it to
60
go down
below
there.
zero.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a
There you
hard
go,
pass for
everybody.
me.
All right. Well, as we head to break here, look, if you're talking about a vacation,
Yeah.
right? I don't know if you could squeeze in.
Wanna get
What's
away?
it called? The a.
Micro.
A micro-
Micro-
Microescape.
I don't think you micro escape to Antarctica, but we're talking about what a micro escape is coming up right after this break. You're watching Morning Edition. We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Morning Edition. For our last topic here this morning, we're going to be talking about an escape, a little bit of a smaller one.
Okay.
We call these micro escapes. What is a micro escape? It's a short, affordable, convenient break, usually taking place across maybe a few days instead of a whole week.
Okay.
It might be a shorter trip. One of the big things in here is how expensive gas has been. That's been trickling down into airfare prices. I've been trying to look into taking maybe a flight from hub to hub, Charlotte to Dallas. And you know how much it's going to cost round trip?
Huh.
Over $500 right now.
Sounds about right.
Good
Whoa.
night.
Bananas. How expensive.
night
it
night.
is.
Bananas are expensive too.
How's
They
that?
sure are.
I was about to call the airline, ask if they take food stamps, but no, they're like, no.
Kinda
So,
like
so
like
a mini
little
vacay, a little
but
mini
it's not like a
vacay.
staycation.
Yeah.
It's like you still go somewhere, but for a shorter period of time.
Yes, that's right. A shorter
Okay.
period of time. Like, let's say you want to save a little bit of money on the drive. Like, one thing, I actually did a micro escape 2 years ago with my wife. One of our wedding presents, a guy gave us I don't know how he found this place because he's not from North Carolina, but he found this bed and breakfast
Cute.
in Albemarle called the 1891 Inn. And
Oh.
he gave us a one-night gift certificate to that place.
Okay.
Very interesting
And
wedding gift.
It was a very interesting gift, and Nadia and we decided to take one Saturday off here. It was back in I think July of 2024, and we were like, let's go check out Albemarle. I've never been there before. We drove about 50 minutes out there. It was this really cute little B&B, and then we walked around the downtown Albemarle area, and we went to this nice little restaurant where the food was noticeably cheaper than it was in Charlotte, and it was just as delicious, maybe even
Yum.
better.
Okay.
And it was just a really nice time. That's kind of the essence of what a micro escape is. And we
concept.
spent
Go a
time.
little bit farther outside the city
Yeah, like
and go
it-
do some stuff.
Yep.
Kind of like how we've been obviously
that.
encouraging people to go to Western North Carolina, right? It's a
Hey.
2.5 hour drive. They need visitors to come, especially now that it's getting warmer. So, I mean, that's a good option. But I think, everyone wants to take a trip. And we've been talking on the show. AAA says that record people are going to travel for Memorial Day. They're still going to do it. And like I said, you just do this and then you take your credit card and then you go like this and you
Yep.
deal with it
Oh,
later,
man.
which is not,
Oh, man.
Do
like
that
I'm
more and
not,
more
I don't recommend it, but
Yeah.
that's what
No
people are going to
secret
do
that,
because they
Americans
want
have
to go.
higher credit card debt than ever. But I mean,
Yeah. I mean, because they're going to do it because because everyone works hard.
that's true.
You want a break.
Yep.
And you're going to make it happen. This is the
Everyone
way-
says they
That's-
deserve a
Have a break.
vacation. Yeah.
we all
just-
deserve
Oh, you do
to.
deserve a
do a
vacation.
short
Everyone does.
You could do an
Micro
extended
escape.
weekend.
I
or
like
something,
it.
you know?
There you go.
I just think this is going to be something we see maybe more and more during the summer. People driving a little bit, not as far. And again, the airline prices, it really has been shocking how expensive that has gotten. Then again, hub to hub, over $500.
You got
Yeah.
the Iran war going on
Yep.
with the impact on gas prices. You also have the fact that We've heard that they're now targeting the premium customer, so the offers for the low-cost carriers no longer there. So we'll see.
All
All right.
Good idea, Andrew. Thanks for
I like
finding
it.
that
Thanks,
one.
Andrew. What a
Thanks,
great
Andrew.
idea.
Thanks for joining us.
Well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and take a micro escape from Morning Edition. We'll catch you next time here on Morning Edition. For Andrew Brightman, Jason Harper, Andy Satowski, and myself, Julian Sidor. We'll catch you next time.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.